Welcome to this special Masters edition of the Back Nine Report TV. The first major golf tournament of the season, the Masters, will tee off on Thursday, April 8th. It annually signals a start to the golf season in the northern portion of the United States. The beauty of the flowers against a backdrop of perfectly manicured green grass at Bobby Jones' dream course never fails to impress and amaze golf fans. Augusta National, the home of the Masters tournament, was designed by famed golf architect Dr. Alistair McKenzie in conjunction with Grand Slam winner Bobby Jones. The course was co-founded by Jones and Clifford Roberts, with construction being completed in 1933. The first tournament, the Augusta National Invitational, was won by Horton Smith in 1934. For the first 5 years, the tournament was known as the Augusta National Invitational because Jones felt the Masters sounded too pretentious. The tournament grew to be a major out of respect for Jones and Augusta National's habit of always identifying the best players of the day. The course was built on the site of a former nursery, and remnants of the exotic plants remain today. Each hole is named after a flower that is prevalent on the course. Azalea, holly, Carolina cherry, and magnolia are just a few examples. In 1940, the course only measured 6,800 yards. But given modern technology as well as bigger and stronger athletes, it has been stretched to over 7,400 yards. The course is forgiving from the tees with many open driving holes. The difficulty arises when players assess their second shots. Approach shots must find favorable locations on the greens or face dire consequences. The greens feature large humps and bumps, and the players all know that 3 putts are always lurking to ruin a good round of golf. Augusta National is very hilly with total elevation drop of 175 feet from the highest point, the first tee, down to the lowest point, Rays Creek, at the treacherous par 3, number 12. Severe undulation and slick greens can leave impossible putts or chips. Winds that swirl through the majestic pines affect ball flight and make club choice even more difficult. History tells us the tournament doesn't begin until the back nine on Sunday afternoon. Holes 11 through 13 comprise Amen Corner, so aptly named by Herbert Warren Wind in a 1958 article for Sports Illustrated. It has been the site of great drama and heartbreak. The 2 par 5 holes on the backside, numbers 13 and 15, both offer eagle and birdie opportunities for a well-placed drive. Rays Creek is always ready to catch an errant second shot if a player gets too greedy and has drowned many golfers' dreams of donning the green jacket. The tournament annually identifies the greatest golfers of their era. Gene Sarazen, Byron Nelson, Ben Hogan, Sam Snead, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and Gary Player are all in the World Golf Hall of Fame and all won multiple green jackets. In fact, from 1949 to 1954, Sam Snead and Ben Hogan won 5 of the 6 green jackets given out, and from 1960 to 1966, either Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, or Gary Player won every Masters. The tournament is steeped in history and has spawned many traditions over the years. The Champions Dinner, the Wednesday par 3 contest, honorary starters, pimento cheese sandwiches, and the green jacket itself, which annually has been given to the winner of the Masters since 1949. Members are required to wear the green club jackets when they are on the premises, but the coats are never to leave the grounds. The Masters champion is allowed to travel with his green jacket for 1 year, but must return it to the course the next. Gary Player is the only winner to have neglected to return the jacket and still has his today. The course has many memorable sights that must be viewed when visiting Augusta National. The Nelson, Hogan, and Sarazen Bridges, Butler Cabin, the par 3 number 12, the Crow's Nest, the Mickelson Plaque, and Magnolia Lane itself. Golf fans normally have to wait over 8 months from the Open Championship in August until April for the next major tournament, which makes the Masters the most highly anticipated major tournament every year. Due to COVID, golf fans only had to wait a little over 4 months to see if Dustin Johnson can repeat. He's the world's #1, dominated the FedEx Cup playoffs, and was named PGA Tour Player of the Year for 2020. He has to be the unanimous favorite to grab a second green jacket next month. There will be a host of other familiar names trying to snatch that title away from Dustin Johnson, however. Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas, Collin Morikawa, Brooks Koepka, and Bryson DeChambeau all want to add more major titles to their resumes, as well as add a green jacket to their wardrobe. Jordan Spieth already has won at Augusta National, and the recent resurrection of his golf game makes him a fan favorite. One more name that should be prominent on the big leaderboard on Sunday is Rory McIlroy, who is still looking to complete his first career Grand Slam and earn an invitation to the annual Champions Dinner. The Masters is steeped in tradition, but we will see a slight twist to an old one this year. Since the death of Arnold Palmer, there have been 2 honorary starters, Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player. This year, these 2 golfing greats will be joined by the first African American to play in the Masters, Lee Elder, for those first tee shots on Thursday morning, signaling the start of the tournament. The Masters is always my favorite tournament of the year. It is one of the great sports events on the calendar, and 2021 should be yet another memorable Masters. I can't wait to see the players striding down the verdant green fairways and trying to avoid 3-putts on the severely undulating greens. Live streaming of this year's Masters is available at masters.org and will be broadcast as always on CBS. The Masters is always a highlight of April, but another tournament that has rapidly become one of my favorites is the Augusta National Women's Amateur. The first edition of the Augusta National Women's Amateur was held in 2019. It was one of the most significant golf events ever contested. It highlighted the best and brightest women amateur golfers from around the world. Plus, the ladies had the opportunity to play on the same course the Masters is competed on every year. The 2020 tournament was a casualty of COVID, but the invitations have all been sent, and the field is set for the second edition of this landmark event. The 54-hole tournament will kick off with the first 2 rounds being held at Champions Retreat Golf Course on Wednesday, March 31st and Thursday, April 1st. All 85 players will play a practice round on Augusta National on Friday, with the top 30 players after the first 36 holes returning to Augusta National for the championship round on Saturday. In 2019, we saw a wonderful battle on the final day between Jennifer Kupcho and Maria Fassi. Kupcho fell behind Fassi on the front 9 as she was suffering with a migraine. Feeling better later in the round, she battled back with an eagle at number 15 and a birdie at 16 to jump ahead of Fassi for good. This year, the international field will feature players from Austria, New Zealand, Taipei, Paraguay, Denmark, Italy, Mexico, Thailand, Malaysia, Belgium, Spain, China, France, Ireland, Finland, Sweden, Argentina, England, and a partridge in a pear tree. It is sad that once again, this event is being held opposite the LPGA's first major of 2021, the ANA Inspiration. It does, however, give women's golf the main stage on television and in the sports media for the week. Women's golf has come a long way, baby. Not only on the LPGA, but for women's amateur golf as well. Junior golfers dream of competing in the national finals of the drive, chip, and putt competition held at Augusta National on Sunday just prior to the start of the Masters. They must qualify through local and regional qualifiers to earn their spot at Augusta. Both boys and girls are divided among 4 age groups, 7 to 9, 10 to 11, 12 to 13, and 14 and 15. They compete for the longest drive, a chip shot that stops nearest the cup, and who can make a putt. Although there will be limited fans on hand for all three of these contests this year, it will not dull the anticipation and excitement of participants and golf fans alike. Augusta National has become one of the most recognized golf courses on earth, and their efforts to promote golf via these three high-level events, plus their support of the Asia-Pacific Amateur and the Latin America Amateur Championships, have expanded golf's reach worldwide. With the Augusta National Women's Amateur and the Drive, Chip, and Putt preceding the Masters the first 2 weekends in April will provide a wealth of golf intrigue for those golf fans around the world. We can't wait.